Mozilla is starting to make some changes, probably in response to Google losing the ability to pay them as much as they have been paying them, if anything at all, an 85% cut to their bottom line. And so Mozilla is making some changes, and some of these make some sense, and one of them is a little controversial. So let's go ahead and talk about what we might see in the Mozilla Firefox browser in the future. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. If you like this type of content, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, leave us a like and a comment down below. And today we do want to talk a little bit about what is going on over at Mozilla. As we have talked about them a few times in the past, they have made some fairly crazy decisions. I know some of you are completely done with them, and I'm not. And the ultimate reason I'm not is it is still open source. We can still make a lot of tweaks and adjustments. We have the control to do the things we need to do. And my ultimate reason is we need to keep this thing around because it's the only viable alternative we have to the Chromium base right now. Is it funny how the monopoly lawsuit against Google is actually going to harden the monopoly in the web browser world? But that being said, they are looking at places they can cut some expenses, and they're looking at some services they're doing. As I've said many times over the years, Mozilla unfortunately puts way too much into things that are not related to a good web browser, and this causes them to have scattered approaches, to split money across a lot of different divisions, and to probably not narrow in on having the best web browser they can. Some of these changes will help in that. Some of these changes will hurt in that. And ultimately, I almost would still like to see, let's have a core browser that has just nothing in it but web browsing. And let's have another browser which has all these AI goodies and tidbits that they're trying to cram. The reality is I could very well, if AI stuff is pushed on me on a browser, that's probably going to be the thing that would cause me to get rid of it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and start with the article here. Of course, nearly every Linux journal covered this particular article. I did like the one best from OMG Ubuntu, Joey Snedden. So we're going to cover this one here. Of course, they all have effectively the same information. I just like the content and the layout, and even the comment section. This one had a lot of fun things in it. So I want to have a look at this. So Mozilla is shutting down Pocket, the Read It Now service, and they're also shutting down another one called Fakespot. So Pocket, let's go ahead and chat about Pocket. This has been a system, they bought it in 2017, I believe. They started cramming it into the browser, and this is where they used to do, apparently local data collection to feed you articles it thinks you might like. Obviously, I don't want that at all. It would give you new article suggestions on new tabs by default, and allow you to have a Pocket account where you can create things, save them for later, and sort and organize your articles. And shutting this down, on the surface, I go, awesome. I've never liked this anyway. But after reading through the article, I'm thinking, you know what? This might actually hurt Firefox more than it would help them by shutting Pocket down. And the reason is, just reading through the articles and reading through the comment sections of where I found this, I actually found a lot of people like Pocket and use it. And if it is doing a better job of maintaining privacy than other similar services, it's probably a good thing. And to use Pocket on the cross-browser, as many people do, it is a paid subscription service. So Mozilla is literally shutting down a paid subscription service that is independent from Google, that apparently a fair number of people use. Now, I don't use it, I don't like it, and I really would prefer a browser without it crammed in. But it also is very easy to disable, and it never really gets in my way, because once I see it's there, I just go in and make some changes on my browser, and boom, it disappears. And so with this, it's one of those cases that, sure, maybe it should be opt-in instead of opt-out, but I actually think Mozilla should keep this around because it is a ongoing source of revenue independent from Google that, while not everybody likes it, including myself, apparently a lot of people do. And a lot of people are having to switch to other services for it. The most common I've seen apparently is Raindrop.io. I don't know anything other about this than it popped up in the comments, and basically it does the same thing as Pocket. You would have to sign up, basically create an account. There is a free option, there is a paid pro option, and this would allow you to sync your various saves, articles, and things like this across different browsers. So that is what people are saying has been an alternative that has worked for them. So if you're in that group going, I like my Pocket, look at Raindrop, see if that might work for you. I personally am not a Pocket user, but it's never really been a deep source of frustration for me because I simply disable it. My policy disables it by default, and if I'm installing Firefox and something without running my policies, well, it's simple to go through the settings and change it. Apparently, though, they also, added another change. Well, I think we'll get into that in the article here. But walking through it, they are getting rid of this. So Pocket shuts down in July 8th as of May 22nd, I think. So actually, that was a couple days ago. So as of a couple days ago, you can no longer create new accounts. Anybody who has purchased an annual plan will be refunded their plan. And you can no longer save anything. I think as of now, you can no longer save anything and then you have until October 8th to download all of your data. And after October 8th, all data in their Pocket system will be completely deleted. And so that is what they are doing with Pocket. So again, I just think that this is I think this is something they should probably keep around because it is actually a source of revenue, and apparently enough people like it, as indicated in the comments, that you would have a user base. And a lot of people actually complained that the challenge with Firefox has had is they have not actually marketed enough for other services it can do. And so either people don't, in my case, I just don't want anything that syncs across browsers like that. I just don't need extra accounts. I have my own Nextcloud. That's what I use. If you've watched the weekly news roundup, you know we did some format changes. It's a lot better. I'm highlighting texts. I do all of that on my Nextcloud account and syncing things with a manual file back and forth. So I'm not creating accounts. I'm not putting all of these things in the cloud. It's a lot more privacy focused. So I'm not the target market, but apparently a lot of people like that kind of stuff. So they do have big plans for discovery. So this is effectively, it looks like they're going to replace Pocket with Discovery. So some similar type service will pop up. And in Discovery, unfortunately, what we will see with this is it is effectively an alternative way that companies can pay Mozilla. So it does make sense for them to transition to something else like this. The idea with Discovery is that companies can pay Mozilla to feature articles kind of like what Pocket was doing, only now instead of Pocket going onto the internet and finding things that it thinks you like based on a local data collected policy that I don't like, that's the reason I disabled it. Now, instead of that, you're basically going to be shown articles that people have paid Mozilla to put up to the top. So it's basically pushing ads. How long before we're getting, fake articles, scam articles, or, general advertising that's pushed that's really bad, but hey, they give us some money, so let's go ahead and push it to the top. I don't know. So the discovery experience, they say, is going to keep getting better. So discovery, given the amount of eyeballs it and the stories companies pay Mozilla to have inserted amongst them receive as understandable. They say the discovery experience will get better. Of course, this means they're going to cram it with AI. Isn't that exciting? We know from Nightly Builds, it's been working on an overhaul of the feature, adding topics users can follow to only see the kinds of stories they care about when they open a new tab. So as long as I can completely turn it off, I'm okay with that. So side note, they recently made it harder to disable sponsored links on the new tab page. I must have missed this one too. So apparently after recent updates, if you want to go ahead and turn off those, they used to be on the new tab page, and now apparently they are buried in the settings. And so getting people into the new tabs, of course, Mozilla's default wants to cram a bunch of advertising and stuff at you. So there's that. Now, the other service that's shutting down is probably a fine one. This is called Fakespot. And so Fakespot was a extension. I don't think this was added into the browser, but it was an extension, official extension from Mozilla you could get that would look at reviews on sites and determine, utilizing AI, of course, what of these reviews might be real and what of these reviews might be fake. And so the big challenge, of course, they had with that is they were thinking about allowing companies to pay to feature their reviews. Talk about fake reviews. Is it really a fake review when the company that sells the product is, oh, yes, because if I am selling the product, I should not be able to have a legitimate review, nor should I be able to pay you for a review. But it was fairly obscure. Most people didn't know about it. They purchased it not too long ago, just in 2023, and it utilized AI to scan ads and tell you if something was more likely or not a fake review. And I think most people in this day and age are pretty good at spotting the difference. But that's kind of what they're doing. The other feature, of course, is they are looking, of course, at increasing the AI features and things like that. And that really is going to be the thing that I am going to push back against the most. So the more Firefox wants to push AI in the browser, the more I'm going to be inclined to look around at other viable alternatives. Call me crazy. I just would like to see a web browser that just does web browsing. And they can easily do this. It's very simple. In fact, they already do it on mobile. There is a version of Firefox. Like if you get Firefox on Android, for example, it is the full-featured Firefox. You can do geolocations. It can access your cameras and microphones and all that kind of stuff because there are legitimate reasons for a web browser to have access to such data. But they also have Firefox Focus or Firefox Clar, depending if you're picking up from an open source or from the Play Store. That is a version of Firefox that does not have GPS enabled. It does not have cameras enabled. It does not have microphones enabled. It is a browser that does nothing but web browsing. That is exactly the type of browser we need pushed out for the desktop as well. Call it like call it Firefox Focus or Firefox Only or something like that. That would be an amazing product if they could just say, hey, here is a full-featured web browser and it does AI and locations and notifications. But for you guys that don't want to be bothered with any of that, here's a super streamlined. It has so much lower code. It is super efficient on memory. It is super efficient on code. It is super small in size, and it does nothing but browse the web. Okay, that's exactly what we need. Yes, you need to have a warning. Hey, you're not going to use this for a Jitsi call, or you can't use this for looking up the current prices on a nearby restaurant because it doesn't have GPS location services enabled. But this is the type of thing that many of us, guys, we need to create a document over there, a bug report, something over there to let them know, give us a version of the browser that does nothing but web browsing. Let me know if you're on board with that. If somebody wants to create that, I don't know, I'll see if I can get on there and sign it or whatever else. And I'm not saying they need to drop everything else they're doing. I think that'd be a great thing, and maybe, as much as I hate to say it, maybe KDE was right with a little pop-up notification. Oh God, I said it. But the statistics were out, man. They made a lot more money after they rolled that out. Not a fan of it personally, but I understand. Okay. Maybe they need to find a way to crowdfund it. Maybe they, though, need to get back in the good graces of people and not be collecting people's browsing data and sending it anonymously over to advertisers. They need to get back in the good graces with people, get back to their purpose and say, hey, privacy means we're not in bed with the advertising markets and the advertising networks. That's really what we have to do and have to look at and have to focus on. So I think Firefox here, they're doing what they can to survive losing a lot of revenue from the Google lawsuit. I think they should keep Pocket. I think Fakespot is good to go. And it would be really cool if we could get a version of the browser that is just a browser. And hey, one of these, why don't you charge for one of them and not charge for the other? I'd probably say it'd probably be better to charge for the one that doesn't do all of the nonsense. I might actually buy it. If you said, hey, we have a brand new browser. releasing it on all platforms, and it does nothing but browse the web. I'd buy it, Firefox. I'd buy it. I'll commit to it right now. I'll buy it. You make that browser for desktop Linux, I'll buy it. Because I just don't want this browser with AI and pockets and discovery and this and that. I want a damn browser that browses the web. It's what I want. Let me know if you guys agree with that in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.